Okay, this is not ideal, but we have a report. ESPN is reportedly set to end their relationship with Top Rank Boxing in the summer of 2025. That's when it's going to be effective. They still have to finish out their contract, but these two have been in partnership for 8 years since Top Rank was on HBO prior to their deal with ESPN. And obviously, we know HBO left boxing and Showtime later on left boxing, and now without ESPN, boxing is going to be without a proper TV home. And we're going to talk about briefly what that may or may not entail first. So let's pull up the boxing scene version of this for some objectivity. Everybody sort of running with the story. ESPN has not put out a story yet, but that's to be expected in this case. Now, this is an important first sentence. It says ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports broadcasting, has decided it can make do without Top Rank. So ESPN's leaving boxing, reportedly. We'll still use reportedly for now. HBO left boxing, Showtime left boxing. And if you remember, when Premier Boxing Champions launched in 2015, they had deals with virtually every network. ESPN, there was a PBC on ESPN. I actually covered this in another video from, I want to say, a couple months ago at this point. But there was a PBC on ESPN. There was a PBC on CBS. There was a PBC on NBC. There was Spike TV. There was Bounce TV. There was obviously Fox, and Fox had staying power for a while because it got to the point where there were PBC on Fox pay-per-views. Boxing Scene notes that Front Office Sports first reported the news. Now, I would use the Front Office Sports article, but I'm not a subscriber. So we're going with this one here. And also notes what I noted, 8-year partnership coming to a close. Then we have here a Top Rank official previously told Boxing Scene the final Top Rank on ESPN card was expected to occur in July. So this is headed for a close in the summer. While Top Rank officials declined to identify the current contracts ending as a permanent split between Top Rank and ESPN, one official said the report's timing is, quote, nefarious, because Top Rank is actively working with others to broker its next major broadcast/streaming deal. So Top Rank officials are basically saying like, hey, this is coming at a bad time because we're actively looking for a new partner. We're actively looking to continue our broadcasts elsewhere. And this report comes out, whether it's from the ESPN side or not, the report coming out is not really favorable toward them. And if you're thinking about it, when you look at a report like this, or when you look at any sort of report, especially in sports, but also in news, you have to think about, who does this benefit? This does not benefit Top Rank to have this out there that ESPN is essentially cutting the cord or declining to renew their contract and extend their deal. It's not beneficial to Top Rank. So this could hit their value a little bit as they're looking for a new home. And as Boxing Scene notes in the very next sentence, ESPN is seemingly honoring any remaining leverage for Top Rank by declining to comment on the Front Office Sports report. There it is. Still, it had been stirring for months that ESPN intended to withdraw from its union with Top Rank when this current deal expires later this year. That's true. That's been previously reported by multiple outlets. I believe Boxing Scene was also one of them. The sentence continues, and Top Rank has been actively negotiating with other broadcasters, one of whom had reportedly been DAZN. We'll get to that later. Front Office Sports also reported that ESPN has informed Top Rank that it can exit its deal before its scheduled summer expiration date should the promotion strike another broadcast agreement. So if Top Rank gets another deal, then Top Rank can get out of the ESPN deal. And then it just talks a little about the Friday card, MSG Theater. Dennis Baranchyk is defending his WBO lightweight championship against Keyshawn Davis. And then you have Xander Zayas on the card, Tiger Johnson, Nico Ali Walsh, Vito Milnicki Jr., Rohan Polanco, Juan Mita, Juan Manuel Lopez Jr. A whole bunch of guys are going to be on the card. So it's actually an interesting card. Here we go. The most prominent player in those discussions has been Warner Brothers Discovery, which would offer Top Rank a broadcast home on Turner Sports and a streaming platform on HBO Max, according to an official familiar with the talks. That's interesting because in a roundabout way, it'll sort of bring Top Rank back on the HBO platform, even though it's just Max now, but still. And then with Turner, Turner is obviously a big network. You have TNT, for example, TBS. They currently have a deal with AEW, All Elite Wrestling. So they're into combat sports, if you want to call it that. And One Championship has also had a deal with them. So, I mean, this actually makes some sense. I don't know how beneficial it's going to be for Top Rank because it depends on what the conditions of the deal are. PBC on Amazon was purported to be a big thing. And while there has been some successful cards, we just saw one with David Benavidez and Dave Morrell. I mean, there hasn't been a ton of cards. There used to be a lot more PBC cards, and we saw a lot of guys leave the PBC banner because they want to be a little bit more active. So we'll have to see how often Top Rank will get to do these cards. But Turner is a pretty nice landing spot, all things considered, if that's the case. Then it notes while ESPN retains ties to Combat Sports as the cable and streaming home to the UFC, because that UFC deal is continuing, the sports giant could also still offer a home to boxing, with UFC parent company TKO moving towards participating in a boxing league. That's something that's been reported with Turki Al-Sheikh Riyadh season. TKO, who own UFC and WWE, Dana White's involved in that. And there's been talk about there being a boxing league. I have no idea what that's going to look like. And frankly, I don't think that's something that's worth discussing yet, because we still need some more clarity on what that's going to be. But it looks like that's going to be talked about more as the year progresses. And then here we go. This is the dismount. Losing the reach of ESPN is viewed by many, including those in the company, as a black eye given the network's global reach for a sport that boasts worldwide appeal. ESPN's departure following the exodus of HBO and Showtime from the sport, and further emphasized DAZN as the leading streaming power in the sport, given its ties to Saudi Arabia financer Turki Al-Sheikh. Yeah, I think we have an idea of where this is heading. Last sentence, Al-Sheikh has plans for similarly formidable cards and bouts to come on the zone, blah, 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 blah. I wouldn't have said come on the zone there, but for anything. But we'll move on. A couple things on this, and then we'll get out of here. One, this sucks, and it's not good for the sport. It's not good for the sport to have HBO, Showtime, and ESPN pull out for whatever the reason is. Just from an accessibility standpoint, a lot of the Top Rank stuff on ESPN did pretty well, and it looked visually legitimate. ESPN's broadcast is better than DAZN's broadcast. ESPN's broadcast is on par with the PBC broadcast. ESPN is ESPN, but they've shifted in their mentality, and they're absolutely a sports rights company before a content company. And as a result, them not wanting the rights to Top Rank boxing, that's not ideal for the sport. On the flip side, you may look at this and be like, hey, this may centralize things a little bit if the Turner thing doesn't happen, and if Top Rank ends up going to DAZN, which is what sounds like it could happen here. And obviously we know that Saudi Arabia, Turki Al-Sheikh, and their representation, they're going to probably try to get Top Rank under the DAZN banner, because then Golden Boy is over there, Matchroom is over there, everyone who's affiliated with Riyadh season is over there. Top Rank has already done things with Riyadh season, and Bob Arum has mentioned them glowingly to put up money for some of these fights. Obviously, Tyson Fury's fought out there while under a Top Rank contract. And then we look at just how things are going in the sport. It probably makes the most sense to go to the DAZN. The only thing is, the DAZN is going to make it more niche. Is that something that people want? For boxing fans, for diehard boxing fans, it will centralize things, and it's like, all right, guess I need to get a DAZN subscription, because then I get Golden Boy cards, I get Top Rank cards, I get Riyadh season, I get Matchroom, I get all these different things. And you don't get PBC and you don't get Pro Box TV, but Pro Box TV, you could just pop on YouTube and get it. And then PBC, you could figure it out as you go. A lot of people do have Amazon Prime. You would still need to get pay-per-view and buy pay-per-view and things of that nature, but you get a lot of things in one place. If it goes to Turner, then okay, does that mean we're going to get Top Rank on TNT? Which actually, from a marketing standpoint, sounds pretty good. Or Top Rank on TBS. That'll be great for people who have cable, who have YouTube TV, who have all these different ways, Tubi, Fubo, whatever you have streaming service-wise or cable-wise. You can access the sport, which is good for casual fans who probably don't want to go to certain websites to watch cards, or you have to explain to them, hey, this is how you do it. It's like, oh, the convenience of ESPN on Top Rank was, who doesn't have ESPN? I could just pop on ESPN, watch a card, and be done with it. And a lot of people who have ESPN, not all, but a bunch of people who have ESPN, you might have children, so you have Disney Plus, you have the bundle, ESPN Plus comes with that, or you may just have ESPN Plus because you consume things like combat sports and hockey and whatever else that sort of goes into that. College sports, there's a lot of college sports on ESPN Plus as well, along with an extension of ESPN shows. An extensive amount of ESPN shows is how I should word that. So it makes sense to go to TNT, to go to TBS from an eyeball standpoint. A deal with Turner would be very smart. The Zone, though, if you go there, then it's probably easier for the boxing consumer also, because you get everything in sort of one place. What I think you're getting with the Zone, though, this is just my opinion, I think you're getting an inferior product. I don't think the Zone's broadcast is as good as ESPN's broadcast. I don't think it's as good as the PBC broadcast. Do people want to see that from a boxing standpoint? There are a bunch of boxing fans who are like, I don't care as long as I get the fights. But with TV, and TV is dying, quote unquote. But I mean, we talked about cord cutters for years. Now you're getting people who are declining to renew with certain streaming services because costs keep going up. Everything keeps going up. The future of TV has a lot to sort of do with this. And I think this next Top Rank deal is going to be fascinating. If they go to the Zone, then you have, almost everything you need on the Zone. And the product itself is going to be, it'll be fine. It'll be the Zone. But I don't know what that means for the sport in terms of blossoming, because I don't know how many casual fight fans are going to pop on the Zone. I think a lot of people are probably going to stream it anyway. And a lot of people probably do that as it is. And if they go to TNT, TBS, I think it'll get a leg up just in general, because Top Rank, I felt like, had a leg up on some of the other promotional brands because of the ESPN deal, and the presentation was great, and you got to see a lot of great fights. The video packages, the interview packages, the feature packages they would do are really, really good and high level. And now it's going to be a different team if they go elsewhere. I think the future of boxing, I'm not going to say it's in the balance, but I think the future of boxing will be swung by this next move one way or another. It's going to be impacted one way or another. I think the sport itself, in terms of the fights that we're projected to get this year, there are a lot of interesting fights on the table. But in terms of this deal with Top Rank, it'd be very interesting to see where they go, because I think it's going to matter significantly. But I think what matters more is that the fights get made and the fights are accessible. The key word you need to focus on is accessible, not from the standpoint only that the fights are easy to find and easy to digest, like on TV, but also accessible to where, hey, I could see my favorite fighter in person, go get a ticket in person, and not have to travel to, however many miles it is to this country or that country or that country. Dudes should fight probably closer to where they're from in a lot of cases. And I do wonder how impactful the Riyadh season piece is going to be. If you're Turkey Al Sheikh, I'm sure you're going to want to get Top Rank under the DAZN umbrella. And if that happens, I'd be curious to see what the reaction is, not just from boxing fans, but just from the sports world as a whole. Let me know what you think about this. Do you think it's significant? Are you going to miss Top Rank on ESPN? And is there anywhere you would like to see Top Rank in the future? Do you want them to go to the Zone? Do you want them to go to Turner? Or do you want them to go somewhere else? Do you want them to just stream for free on YouTube? I don't know. Or do you want them to potentially join Amazon, and maybe there's a PBC and Top Rank thing that they can do over there? I very much doubt that, but who knows? Crazier things have happened in this sport. They do all the time. Thank you for watching.